Kickoff live.
Slide tackling, spontaneous football and fury.
Get stuck in the thoroughly world-famous Kickoff, the weeknight football show.
Award-winning live football commentary.
It's got to be Kickoff! Kickoff live. Talk Sport.
What a stunning weekend of drama in the Premier League. And tonight on Kickoff Live, we will reflect on Glasner gloom at Palace, on Thomas tanking at Tottenham. We'll bring you our magic moments, and then we'll bring you live exclusive commentary of Brighton against Bournemouth here at the Amex. Two clubs who 10 years ago couldn't have dreamed of being established in the Premier League, but they are. And it's because they have a model that works.
Brilliantly brought down by Mitoma into the box. What a goal! Fantastic!
They've done a great job down there, Brighton. But as I said, what I like is there's no panic. They don't lose a player and go, right, everyone scramble, we need a manager, they're like, everyone relax.
We have one of the best recruitment system in the world, best because it's working.
Believer though from distance! Oh my word! Believer!
I think the next step is really like getting consistency in the performances and in the results, and then I'm sure that we can stabilize ourselves also in the position in the table.
I still think the model that they go with will show levels of inconsistencies when they do lose their best players and new players are trying to come in.
To Moises Caicedo! Oh, he's rifled it in! What a strike!
Kirkes down the left-hand side, getting towards the edge of the penalty area. Goes on the outside and drives it into the far corner. It's 4-1 to Bournemouth.
And it appears at the moment we have, again in my humble opinion, the best, if not one of the best, recruiting teams in world football.
Krupi inside the penalty area, left-footed shot into the far corner.
Obviously, they sold a lot of players to big clubs around Europe in the summer, so they're going to have peaks and troughs.
There is a lot of way to go and a lot of things to do. There's a lot of very good games to play.
Tavernier for Bournemouth in added time.
Good evening, I'm Adrian Durham, live at the Amex for more live exclusive Premier League action on TalkSport. It's Brighton against Bournemouth, whose manager Andoni Iraola said last week that he believes proper football is played at night. Mate, proper football is played on TalkSport. Let's look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Sky Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now. Like Brighton versus Bournemouth live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Well, our seat here at the Amex is, 10-15 rows back from pitch side, but down in the tunnel right now, it is TalkSport's Sam Matterface with the teams.
Well, not many teams can say that they've been to Manchester twice in a week and come away unscathed from trips to the Etihad and Old Trafford, but Brighton can. They switch 5 from the side that won at Old Trafford in the Cup, where they rested both centre-backs. Duncan Van Hecke returned tonight. Carlos Belieber is one of 8 central midfielders available to Fabian Hürzeler. He returned from AFCON, but he's only on the bench. Verbruggen is the goalkeeper. Veltman, Van Hecke, Dunk and Kadioglu are the back 4. Hinshelwood and Gross hold in midfield, with Gruder, Gomez and Matoma behind Welbeck in attack. Elvin Nilsson and Tavernier return for Bournemouth, who changed 3 of the back 4 tonight. The Cherries have posted 2 creditable draws, although they lost on penalties after a gruelling encounter with Newcastle in the Cup. They make 5 changes in all in order to reverse a run of just 1 victory out of the last 13 games. So they start with Petrovic in goal, Jimenez, Hill, Senesi, Truffert, Cook and Scott are the holders in midfield. Tavernier joins Krupi and Adley behind Evanilson in attack. It looks a bit of a threadbare bench for Bournemouth tonight. We're underway in just over an hour's time.
Sam, thanks very much. We're hoping to hear from Fabian Hürzeler in a few moments' time as well, the Brighton manager. But you will have heard Simon Jordan this morning on TalkSport gleefully telling Stuart Pearce that Danny Murphy took a tumble. He fell over during his first game of paddle with Simon last week. Danny has recovered. He's fit for the game tonight. He's with us tonight at Brighton. Are you okay, Danny?
Just about, mate, yeah.
Was it a bad fall?
The knees, you can tell on the knees, yeah. My brain was saying, I'll get that. I can get it. And then the legs just wouldn't get me there.
The athletic competitor said I can get it.
It was good fun. I let Simon down a little bit against his friends. But, it was... I don't know how often I'll be doing it in the future because I needed 2 days recovery after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, but I'll get fitter. It is a good game for fitness, but it really is fun. It's tough.
To be fair to you, Simon did say on air this morning that you're definitely a competitor, so fair play. And you got better at it, didn't you? As you went along?
Yeah, paddle's one of those games that people get the bug for. I can see why.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to. But let's talk about the game tonight. Brighton neither of these have been in great form, to be honest with you, but they did go to United last week, Brighton, and won in the FA Cup. But he's changed things around at the back, the keeper and the centre-halves. How big a surprise to you is that?
A little bit, because I thought they were outstanding in the last game. You know, Steele's distribution was incredible. The two centre-halves did particularly well. But the tried partnership at the back, Van Heck and Donk, is one he seems to stick to and be loyal to. The other two lads probably feel a little bit disappointed, because when you get given an opportunity and play so well, you expect to keep your shirt. But competition for places, I suppose. I think they've been underwhelming, Brighton, this season generally. You know, to be sitting where they are in the table with the money they've spent and the squad they've amassed, I think is a little bit below expectations, probably from the supporters and the hierarchy, to be being honest.
In fact, on the team changes, Fabian Hürzeler has said in the programme, we don't make changes for change's sake. We have big trust in all our players. So maybe he's just saying, actually, our squad is really good, so good I can do this.
Well, it's delicate balance, because I always feel that you get the best out of players when you've got a manager who trusts you. You're going to be given a good stint in the team before he decides to take you out, and he's showing that with a certain core group in this team this season. There's a certain amount of them who seem to play all the games in the league anyway. I don't know, it's a delicate one. I think you also need to reward people who stay focused, train well, take the chance when they play. But he sees them every day in training, I don't. You know, maybe judging them on that one game isn't fair compared to what he gets to see them at every week.
I suppose for Bournemouth it is about how they cope without Semenyo from now on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think also it's about trying to stop conceding so many chances and goals on the road, irrelevant of who he's playing. And that comes from a mentality change and a maybe a tactical one.
Sam Matterface is live now with the Brighton manager, Fabian Hürzeler.
Adrian, I'm with Fabian Hürzeler in the tunnel before the game. We're an hour before kickoff. You've just named your team. How are you going to approach a team in Bournemouth who almost always seem to bring the chaos?
Yeah, I think we expect a very physical game because, like you said, Bournemouth, very physical game, a lot of high pressing actions, try to win the ball as quick as possible, and therefore we need to be very good in our positioning. We need to be very good in how we pass the ball, how we make the first touch. So I think this will be key against high pressing teams, and then I think we have to be also very good in moments where that transition, because I think that's a strength from Bournemouth, and there we have to be aware.
You've won 2 of the last 3 after dipping results in December, but coming back here to the Amex always seems to work in your favour. Only one team have actually beat you here since last January. What's the secret to the success here, and how can you continue that tonight?
I think the supporters, they are massive for us, because they always are there for us. They always support us. They're like our 12th man, and I think that's one of the main reasons. And then I think that we also have the quality in the squad, that we have to believe in the team and in the individual players, that they can beat every team in the league, and that's what they show here in the MX together with the fans.
One of your 11, Danny Welbeck, obviously has had a brilliant season. What does he bring to you, and why do you feel so confident in relying on him?
Goals and a great leader on and off the pitch. I think these are the two main things. He knows where the goal is. He has a good nose, I would say. He knows where the ball chops in the 18-yard box, and then he's absolutely great in finishing. And like I just mentioned, on top of that, he's a role model. He is leading by example. I think that's massive for us.
You've got Believer back. He's on the bench tonight. No Maxime de Kuiper. What is that? Could you just tell us what that is?
He was sick during the week.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Cheers.
There you go, that's Fabian Hürzeler with TalkSport. Sam Matterface is on commentary duty tonight. I want to mention Pascal Grossi's starting a home game for the first time since he returned from Borussia Dortmund. His return, by the way, generated 7.5 million social media engagements, which is quite extraordinary. A very popular player. Arguably, Danny, he's been Brighton's greatest player in the Premier League era, Pascal Grossi. Will obviously bring experience, but in terms of his quality, what will he add to this Brighton side, do you think?
Calmness, great delivery, good pass through the ball, just very comfortable in his own skin. He is what he is now. He's experienced and he plays with a freedom. It's great to see him, actually. I had the pleasure of interviewing him a couple of years ago, and he was brilliant company. Really loves his football, He must do, because he knew about me.
That's in-depth knowledge.
But no, he was terrific to interview. Great character. Someone I'm sure who leads by example as well, the way he conducts himself. And I thought he was great at the weekend as well. He loves playing against Man U, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's a terrific footballer anyway. I mean, technique-wise, and you're right, I've interviewed him as well, and he didn't know me, but he was very, very calm in the interview as well as on the pitch. But what's interesting is they've got some experienced players, like he's just said there to Sam, Fabian Hertzler, that Danny Welbeck's a role model. You got Lewis Dunk at the back as well, Steele, the reserve keeper tonight, who played at Old Trafford, was brilliant, actually made 7 saves. He's experienced as well. So they've got that experience. They've got youngsters as well, and Jack Hinchelwood is one of those who's come through. And he has got Pascal Gross's old shirt, the number 13 shirt. And he said in the programme tonight, Hinchelwood, that if they could swap back mid-season, he would. That's how much respect he's got. Pascal's taken the 30. It may well be they switch in the summer, but that's the kind of respect he's got, I suppose, that Jack wanted to give him his old shirt back.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, hopefully he does. I think that's a great show of respect, and it's exactly what I'm talking about. He's done well, actually, Hinchelwood. He's improving all the time, and he looks physically strong, gets about the pitch well, can play in different positions. And they've got good competition for places here, which is why I'm surprised they're not doing better. The thing is, I think sometimes, because they have a wonderful performance against good opposition and get a great result or two, it kind of, covers up a little bit of their problems against the lesser teams. I think the way Brighton play suits when they play against teams who play good football as well. It's I don't know, it's something they're going to have to solve, because I do think the quality they've got and that we see on certain occasions should be putting this team and squad into a loftier position.
Well, we'll see whether they can handle Bournemouth this evening, who are below them in the Premier League table. That was a look ahead to tonight's Premier League action with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now, you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Brighton Bournemouth live tonight. Search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Brighton versus Bournemouth live today. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Yeah, both Gross and Hinchelwood starting for Brighton tonight as we bring you live commentary from the Premier League of Brighton against Bournemouth. You're listening to Kickoff live on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Kickoff on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
In 10 metres, take a left at the pile of washing.
Sorry, what?
At the Valley of Toy Dinosaurs, approach the kitchen with no room to cook. Turn right at the floordrobe. You've reached chaos. Recalculating. Suggest immediate course correction to IKEA for fitted wardrobes, children's storage, and cupboard organisers.
Find your way back to calm. Discover smart storage at your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue, unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there. His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result. Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
We all fantasize about our perfect home, sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel. Morning. The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing around my football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Sir Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Mo?
Mo?
Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then...
Substitution.
His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Oh, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim. No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals. Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action. Think you've said it all there, Clive. Sorry, Jim. Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
Kick off live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Brighton versus Bournemouth live today. Search Now Sports 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Sacre bleu, the Champions League is back! Get ready for a wild Wednesday night double of live European football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2. From 8, Marseille take on Liverpool on TalkSport. With Newcastle versus PSV on TalkSport 2. It's a bumper Wednesday night of big Champions League football on TalkSport and TalkSport 2.
I'm Adrian Durham live at the Amex. Brighton only one home defeat. Bournemouth only one away win, and that was back in August. It's live on TalkSport. Kick off at 8. Time now to get an odds update with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Alex Apati from Ladbrokes is with us. Talk to me about the game tonight. Brighton, with that home record against Bournemouth, who don't have Semenyo, and a poor away record, this is a home banker, isn't it?
Yeah, good evening, mate. You would think so. Brighton odds on favourites 5-6. Bournemouth just under 3-1, and the draw is 3-1. For two sides, I guess you can't really split on their day. At least they haven't actually shared the points since 2018. They've played each other 12 times since then. There's always been a winner. Both sides going into tonight, bottom half of the table is something we've not really been used to for either team in recent years. Brighton can move up to 10th with a win. I do think they will get that. The last 3 times they've met these two, it's finished 2-1 to someone. So Brighton to win 2-1 is 7-1. Bournemouth 2-1 is 11-1. Both teams to score is around 1-2. So it should be a great game as far as the odds are concerned. And look, it's contending with the last 3 Premier League games this weekend, finishing 0-0, 0-0 and 1-0. So these two shouldn't have to do much to be the most exciting game we've seen in the last couple of days. But yeah, Brighton win for me. Bournemouth have only won 1 on the road, as you say. So Brighton to win, both teams to score is the bet here, I think, at 2-1.
Talking of not having to do much, Arsenal, I mean, it's incredible, isn't it, that they put in a really bang average performance at Nottingham Forest, and yet they still have a bigger gap than they did pre-weekend. Villa and City both losing. I mean, none of the top 4 won at the weekend. I can't remember the last time that happened. But so talk to me about title race. Talk to me about top 4.
Yeah, bang average. Arsenal, they did shorten in the betting there from 1-4 to 1-5 to win the league now, pulling away. City 9-2. So Arsenal 7 points clear. But they've dropped points in their last 2 games, back-to-back 0-0. So they could have been 11 points clear. You wonder whether they will kick themselves at the end of the season. City still not out of it, I guess, but they are winless in 4, and look, there can't have been many times that's happened under Pep Guardiola. What you need for a neutral, for a title race here, is City to step up and find another level, which they are capable of, and Arsenal to lose a little bit of their bottle, which we've seen they're also capable of. So still not a dead cert, this title race, but a lot does need to change in the next few months. As far as the top 4 goes, United, biggest movers in the last couple of weeks. They were 5-1 a couple of weeks back. They're now 2-1. Still got a lot to do, still odds again, still 6th most likely in the betting, but 5-1 into 2-1 since sacking Ruben Amorim suggests a top 4 finish could well be on the cards. Yeah, I mean, they're the only team up there right now with absolutely nothing else to play for this season, so maybe they are the pick at 2-1.
And a quick word on the Championship. Coventry are top 6 points clear of Middlesbrough, who are in 2nd, but it's Ipswich in 3rd, who've been bang in form. 3 wins in a row, and they're only 2 points behind Borough. 2 go up automatically, next 4 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I've liked Ipswich all season. Even when they started pretty slow, I thought they were a good price, and I still think they are to win the league. That is, Coventry are odds-on favourites to win the title at 8-11, Ipswich 7-4, and Middlesbrough 7-1. So at best, at very best, that is a 3-horse title race. Every other name 66-1 or bigger. Obviously, those three are the most likely to go up by any means. Coventry 1-5, Ipswich 3-10, Borough 11-10, but. I mean, you know as well as anyone, it's not as simple as the top three right now will go up. Whoever finishes third of that three are far from guaranteed to go up through the playoffs. So you look at who else might be in there. The cut-off at this moment in time is probably Leicester in 13. They're 6 points off the top six and 16-1 to go up. You've got Watford and Millwall in there, just outside of the top three in the betting. Hull and Stoke 8-1 and 12-1. And I'll leave you with Wrexham. Credit to them. They could have been 6th or 7th, rather, on goal difference. They're 3 points off the playoff spots. Disappointing to lose to Norwich, but they're 12-1 to go up. So a Hollywood ending for them could well be on the cards. And I'm sure plenty will be on that price, by the way, at 12-1, especially with the transfer window open now.
I'm just glad it's you, not me, Alex Apati, that ruled Millwall out of automatic promotion. That was Alex Apati who just ruled out Millwall from automatic promotion. That's all thanks to Ladbrokes. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talk Sport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Well, teams have come out to warm up here at the Amex. Brighton against Bournemouth. Brighton fans have been laughing at Crystal Palace over the last week or so. And let's take a trip into Oliver Glasner's world, shall we? The Palace manager is still in his job. He announced on Friday that he's leaving at the end of the season. He also claimed in that same press conference that he and Steve Parish work very well together. And then he comes out with this after Palace lost at Sunderland on Saturday.
Difficult result, difficult for me to accept. Not because of the performance. I think 50-60 minutes performance was well. Yeah, then we had 15-20 minutes where we were under pressure. We conceded a goal. Players tried everything until the end. They're leaving the heart on the pitch, but we feel that we are being abandoned completely, and selling our captain one day before a Premier League game. No understanding. We're playing with 12-13 players from our original squad for weeks now, and then that makes it so tough to accept this defeat, because the players they gave everything, and we had no substitution. I was looking on the bench, just kids there, and that's how it is. That's, I think, why we are where we are. And if your heart gets torn out twice a season, one day before a game, so with Eze in summer and with your captain now, I've just completely no understanding.
That's Oliver Glasner. He claims Danny Murphy to have been abandoned a week after Palace had broken their transfer record to bring in a player. He was also asked specifically who has abandoned him. He didn't have the courage to answer. He actually just stood there and didn't really say anything. I nearly crashed my car this morning listening to White and Jordan, because Simon actually defended Steve Parish and Palace. It takes a lot for him to do that, but I make him absolutely right as well. Where do you stand, Danny Murphy?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, he's already said he's leaving, which is fine. That's his prerogative. The Gahey situation is he got his own way in the summer in terms of keeping him. Gahey didn't kick up the stink. It was inevitable he was going to go in January, and all he could probably accuse the owner or hierarchy of is, not when he's letting him go, because it could be any day of the week. There's that many games. What day's right? 2 days before, or day before a European game, the day after? Every day's near a game. Where's my replacement? I need somebody in. Why haven't you got that plan? That's fair. But I think when you've already said you're leaving a club and you've got to understand the way the market works, why you go on some rant like you're hard done by? He's getting paid to do the job. Still, he's still got things he can do well this season, but I never understand managers doing that about anything, never mind just that.
Well, obviously there's a pattern that has formed over the course of the last few days. The Friday press conference where he just took pins out of a grenade every 2 minutes. First of all revealing he was leaving, then revealing that Gahey was leaving, then revealing that JP Mateta could well be leaving as well. But that one sort of was under the radar a little bit because the other two were so seismic. I don't really understand why he was so upset, particularly that day, bearing in mind this situation has been the case for a long time. The one thing I'd say about Steve Parish is is what else was he supposed to do with Mark Gahey? It's not. Oliver Glasner got his way when he said, "I will leave if you sell him in the summer." He didn't. But then Oliver Glasner didn't commit his future to the football club. So it's not like he can go and spend a load of money on players for Oliver Glasner because he knows that he's leaving. So, it was a difficult situation for everybody. But they've got a Conference League which they can win, by the way. And I think he really needs to concentrate on that. I didn't think it was a great look, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, there's something else. I really love your view on this, Danny, because Glasner also said after the Sunderland game, he didn't make any subs. There was no one on the bench. He didn't have anyone to bring on as a sub. And I'm imagining if I'm on the bench and I've not been brought on, and then I hear my manager saying we didn't have anyone, and literally no one on the bench is what he said, and they weren't good enough to bring on. Cambo was one of those on the bench. They paid £20 million for him. Sosa, Croatian international, 26 caps. Uche, Nigerian international, valued at 17 million. Chadi Riyad, a Moroccan international. All of those were on the bench. And if you're a Palace youngster who was on the bench, how are you feeling? Because I'll give you a couple of examples. Joel Drakes-Thomas, 16 years old. He's already been used as a sub in the Premier League by Oliver Glasner. And now Glasner's saying, well, he's not good enough to bring him on in the Premier League. Well, you're a hypocrite because you've already used him. Danny Imre is 22. So he's of a certain age. He's had first team men's football. He's had loan spells in League 2 and League 1. He's been at Blackpool this season. And actually last week he scored on loan at Blackpool. So he'll be feeling high as a kite. He'll be feeling fantastic. He's been put on the bench. He's thinking, wow, I might get a taste of Premier League. He's feeling brilliant. And then Oliver Glasner says he's not good enough to bring him on. I mean, that man management is some of the worst I think I've come across.
I think that's him being too emotional, trying to prove a point, probably regretting what he said the next day. Wouldn't surprise me if one of those players didn't knock on his door. A player with anything about him would be going, what am I doing here? Why are you even talking that way?
Does that happen, yeah?
Yeah. I've never heard a manager be that disrespectful to the players. The best managers I would never do that. You'd never, even in your worst emotional state, and let's get the best point here. If the players you've got in your squad, you feel, he could have walked before the season. He knew the squad he was going in with, right? What about your coaching ability? Can you not improve them to be good enough to come off the bench and do a job for you for 20 minutes? International football players, you can't coach them, no? To do a job for you for half an hour, 20 minutes of your players you've chosen are getting tired. He's having a pop at himself, isn't he? I can't produce better players than the ones I inherited a year and a half ago, so yes, upstairs haven't helped me, but of course you can bring 2 or 3 of those on for fresh legs, and I think it shows a little bit of emotional instability that actually the biggest problem with that, he's showing prospective employers his weaknesses.
Yeah. I'm not sure that the bigger clubs in the league that have been linked with him will be particularly pleased with that, bearing in mind a lot of clubs run a similar model now. If I could just take a couple of examples. First of all, Unai Emery, who has been in a very similar situation at times this season where he's only had academy graduates on the bench. And actually, instead of saying, I have nothing on the bench, he's embraced that talent and used it, even if it has been for only 20 minutes. In fact, he gave young George Hemmings his Premier League debut away at Arsenal in difficult circumstances, but he brought him on yesterday when they needed a little bit of impetus.
He did all right as
in the game, and he played well. So I think 2 different sort of ways of approaching it. You can either go down the Glasner route of throwing your toys out the pram, or the Unai Emery route, where he's obviously upset that he hasn't got the biggest squad, but he's utilising what's available to him. The problem is it's becoming a bit of a trend now, isn't it, to speak your mind. I think it does speak to the fact that there is a bit of a conflict between football people and the directors, the business people in the game at the moment, but I don't think it was a great look, I've got to be honest.
The other thing is as well, how long is he going to go on?
Well, does he want to get sacked? That's the other thing.
No, that's what he wants, but they say they're not going to sack him.
And nor should they.
No, they shouldn't. If he doesn't want to be there, just walk away.
Well, he's got to be careful, because if you say certain things, there'll be an area of gross misconduct for any manager or coach or player.
Abandoned is a big word.
If you disrespect the club with your words too much and too strongly, that could be grounds for a dismissal without compensation.
I'd love to hear what the LMA have got to say about it, but I doubt they'll be making a comment. You're listening to Kick-Off Live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action flexibly, like Brighton Bournemouth live tonight. Search Now Sports.
Kick-Off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18+ gambleaware.org.
We all fantasise about our perfect home, watching the big game cozied up in the snug. Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing round like football!
But come on, This isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
The beautiful game doesn't stop at the final whistle, and neither does the sun.co.uk. So you can go beyond the last kick with expert insight into the big moments and in-depth analysis of tactics, plus the latest breaking news and exclusives. And you can get it whenever and wherever you want it. To keep up with every kick, just head to the sun.co.uk. It's unbeatable.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then...
substitution.
His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue, unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there. His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result. Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
Imagine a place where you can escape for a day. Get immersed in a world of rooms, inspiration and expertise. Where you can laze in luxury accommodation. And kids can feast from 95 pence. Tickets are free to everyone and include all the attractions. You've just imagined a day out at IKEA. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But, you know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Kick off live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Talk Sport with Bostik. If you need a professional grade sealant with high mold resistance, easy tooling and minimal shrinkage, choose Bostik Pro Sealants.
7:35, here are your rapid fire sports headlines. A relief Mark Gahey says his move to City is the culmination of all the hard work he's put into his career. The former Palace skipper signed for £20 million before add-ons. He says he'll bring balance, a calm head, and he'll be a good teammate. Elsewhere, Thomas Frank says his clear the air meeting with the Spurs big cheeses left him feeling their trust. Spurs face Dortmund tomorrow live on TalkSport, and Finn Baxter's been ruled out of the Wales Six Nations game for England, adding to the injuries of Will Stewart and Asher Opoku-Verjor in Steve Borthwick's ever-thinning prop department.
It's a Tuesday night Champions League Golage à Trois on the TalkSport network. From 5:45, Bodo Glimt take on Manchester City on TalkSport 2. From 8, Spurs face Dortmund on TalkSport, with Inter Milan showdown with Arsenal on TalkSport 2.
Tuesday night, the Champions League live
on the TalkSport network.
You're listening to Kick-Off Live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. 17 goalless draws in the Premier League this season, already more than last season. I blame VAR for robbing the game of goals week in, week out. But I'm going to make a personal guarantee to everybody listening to this. This will not be a goalless draw tonight, because Brighton have had as many 4-3s here as they've had 0-0s. And Bournemouth have had a 4-all, a 3-all, a 2-all, a 1-all and a 0-0. this season.
You know what happens if it is 0-0 though, don't you?
I don't know what my forfeit is.
You're getting it.
Getting
you
what?
are getting it.
Rewarded.
You wait till afterwards. We'll show you.
With these defences, well, certainly Bournemouth's defence, it can't be. Surely it can't be.
Do you remember we were here a while ago? I think it was Brighton Wolves, and I said the same thing. Sat here in this very, and I said, "There's absolutely one thing I can guarantee you: this won't be 0-0."
I don't think I was here for that.
Was it 0-0?
Yeah. Okay, it's your fault then, Danny. Time now to look at our magic moments of the weekend, all thanks to Ladisfaction from Ladbrokes.
Magic moments of the weekend on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Well, you'll know this little bit of information if you were listening to Drive earlier with Andy Goldstein and Darren Benton. If you weren't listening to Drive, why the hell not? I'll bring in a man who once shared a hot tub with Belinda Carlisle, Danny Murphy. How
Did you say, please leave a light on for me?
No, I said heaven is a place on earth.
It was that night.
There's a place in the hot tub, yeah. Definitely.
And as you got in, she said, it's a big scary animal.
You're so good at this.
Oh, he's been prepped, obviously.
The magic moment for Danny Murphy is what?
I'm going to go Tiana Barry. I love a underdog or a story about somebody overcoming resilience, and actually somebody who recently at times has been ridiculed, struggled massively, got his first goal a few weeks ago, a month ago, maybe a bit more, and since then his confidence has gone up. Thought he played really well actually yesterday, and his finish was sublime.
Do you remember that one he had disallowed and we were all heartbroken for him, weren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And he looks like a good guy. I know you never know that, but he's got that kind of face, kind face. But I think playing football and understanding the highs and lows of it, when you've had stick and when you've also had the adoration, you know, for him to be leaving the pitch with the fans singing his name when he got subbed, you know, what a feeling that must be.
There was a post-match interview where he said, "My job is to score goals," and I'm thinking, wow, what a thing to say. I mean, it's true, but, you know, he doesn't have to say that.
Well, actually, to be honest with you, it is, but he's actually given them a lot more. So many of Everton's decent attacks come from his endeavour, his aerial prowess, running down lost causes, just being a nuisance. Even the goal, he was in front of the centre-half, headed it onto him, and it rebounded off him to McNeil, didn't it? It's just a really nice story for someone. I think even Evertonians would admit that they thought might never, after the first couple of months playing for Everton, probably thought he wouldn't last the season.
Do you know what was funny though? David Moyes afterwards said he was pleased with the clean sheet. He also said, we're not going to score a lot of goals, so we have to keep clean sheets. So he's got no faith in him either.
Well, I think that was more to do with at the moment they have to be quite pragmatic and keep numbers back. But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It was interesting actually because Charlie Adam was a big part of the scouting team that watched him last year, and when he's been working with us, been talking about the fact that it's a project. It's not something that's going to hit the ground running. It's going to be someone that takes time. But if you look at his aerial ability last year in France, he was absolutely terrific. So that's definitely, as Danny has pointed out, something that they will try to utilise. I think he'll get better and better over time.
I'm going to go for, as a magic moment, Edouard Mendy's penalty save in the AFCON final. Well, listen, we could go into great detail about.
Why is Sam laughing at your choice?
I don't know, because do you not think
it was a funny moment?
If you don't know, it's the last kick potentially of the game. It's in the 90-whateverth minute, and if Brahim Diaz scores the penalty, then that's it. AFCON is won by Morocco. And he dinks it, and everybody's laughing at him, but Edouard Mendy stands there and just collects it. And most keepers would go down, wouldn't they, to have that bravery to stand there. I found absolutely incredible.
I think it's unbelievable for a goalkeeper to stay central in the last minute of any game when someone's taking a penalty. I think I've talked with you about, I remember Bobby Zamora scoring a last-minute penalty against someone, Fulham. I'd come off and I'd take him, and I said to him, what made you go down the middle? He said, every goalkeeper wants to be the hero in the last minute. He's never going to stand in the middle. Now, I know that's been proved wrong, but generally it's true. It's just such, not just a strange thing, a strong thing to do mentally for the keeper.
It's not the first time he's done it, which is another reason why I laugh, because I've seen him do it before. I saw him do it, actually, I think live on TalkSport, when Sergio Aguero clipped the ball into his arms at Manchester City when he was the Chelsea goalkeeper. So he does have a habit of this. And look, I fancied him if it had gone to penalties, because he is an unbelievable wingspan. His arms are so huge. but I think he's a very good reader of the body language of the penalty taker.
Sam, your magic moment, please.
Now this is the one that he wants to take the mickey out of. I said it was Bruno Fernandes's involvement in the build-up to this first Manchester United goal. And basically, this is what I think of the goal. I think it's terrific for this reason. One, it starts from a Manchester City free kick where there's a tangle between Haaland and Maguire. Maguire actually struggles to get up from that. And when he does, he hobbles back into the centre of defence, and he really isn't moving very well at all. The ball's sent into the area, and he's the one who gets up highest and heads it brilliantly down the middle of the pitch. Manchester United find themselves, as Bruno collects the ball, with a 3-on-2 situation, which very quickly becomes a 4-on-2 situation. He carries the ball, Bruno Fernandes, a really long way. By the time he gets to the edge of the penalty area, he's got two options. To his left-hand side, he's got Mbeumo. To his right-hand side, he's got Ahmad. And what he does is he sends Donnarumma a little bit asunder by making this tiny little movement as if he's going to play it to his right, then readjusts and reverses it to his left, and then Mbeumo then can put it into the corner and the goalkeeper is off balance. It was a brilliant counter-attacking goal and a brilliant moment, and it was an explosion of joy in the stadium. So for me, that was magic.
So what was the magic moment?
The little movement.
The whole movement, not Bruno.
No, the little movement from Bruno where he just sort of disguises it and then plays it to the left because he had two options.
That's poor.
It's poor, is it?
Poor, isn't it? Poor choice.
I think there were more magic moments than that.
Go on then.
Well, we've just given you a couple.
I can't have those two because you two nicked them. But I watched Wolves versus Newcastle yesterday and Aston Villa versus Everton.
So did I. I actually do think it was a great move. But if you're going to give one person a magic moment in that, going from, if you think about Maguire and how difficult he was getting up and how... You've got to mention, but that's a bigger wow moment, isn't it?
Okay.
Someone can rise from that.
Basically mention the whole team.
I'm quite happy for you to overrule me with your expertise and give it to Maguire at that moment.
I think what is worth saying is Bruno Fernandes was outstanding. And
absolutely brilliant.
Just looks so much happier in a 10, doesn't he?
And I'd also say that it's a terrible free kick. It was Turkey's free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was dreadful.
Yeah.
Truly dreadful. For that one free kick to be headed out and then all of a sudden you're 4-on-2. I mean, it shows that Man City...
To be honest, could have been 5 if it wasn't for Donnarumma.
Easily.
Listen, I was at the game, obviously, and it could have easily have been 5-0 to Manchester United. And I think, actually, you were talking about... I think you mentioned it earlier on about VAR or something, and goals. That goal that they rolled out at the
Mason Mount one.
The Mason Mount one. And I am seriously questioning that semi-automated offside technology. Because the other day... They gave that Florian Wirtz goal, which was offside, and they said it was tolerance. Then they ruled out this one and not noticed that there was obviously clearly just as much of an infraction. And in midweek, when we had the Tuesday night game at Newcastle, the semi-automated offside technology, which was not working for the Semenyo goal that was disallowed, actually I think it gave Haaland in onside positions, and that's why they overruled it and didn't use it.
I think it's a shocker. You know my feelings on VAR. I really don't want to go down that road. But we've had clarification from the producer, Danny, that Bobby Zamora's last-minute goal from the penalty spot was against Blackburn Rovers in 2011. So
I can't remember everything.
Good. No, it's a good memory. Those were our magic moments of the weekend that brought us Ladisfaction. All thanks to Ladbrokes 18+, gambleaware.org.
Magic moments of the weekend on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18+, gambleaware.org.
We've got less than 15 to kick off here at the Amex. Brighton Bournemouth coming up live and exclusive. It's kick-off live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent Car, whatever it is, they're here for it.
Kick-off on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Oh, he's really opened up the Sun newspaper there, Jim.
No question, Clive. Straight in the middle and right into the free pull-out goals.
Goals, yes. The ultimate football coverage with the best expert writers. In-depth tactical analysis. Unrivaled coverage from every league and all the latest football action.
Think you've said it all there, Clive.
Sorry, Jim.
Not to worry, I was reading my copy of Goals anyway.
Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
It's another day at Screwfix, and Mo Farah is still getting to grips with things.
So, Mo, with Sprint Delivery, we get the order to them in as little as 20 minutes. Mo?
Mo? Done. He was on the 18th floor.
Nice work. But You know we use delivery riders, right?
Oh, now you tell me.
Sprint it in as little as 20 minutes. Screwfix. No stopping you. Conditions and geographical restrictions apply.
Hi, just leaving work now. Sorry it's a bit loud. Basically, so I was thinking we could get Mackey's tonight. Had a Big Mac on my mind all day, and delivery fee on the app is now from 99p. So, you in? Of course you are. Love you. Bye.
Exclusively on the McDonald's app. 18 plus. Service fee and small order fee may apply. Participating restaurants. Serving times and T's and C's apply.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Sipping a morning coffee out on the terrace. Good morning, Mr. Squirrel.
Morning.
The kids building a tree, playing on the lawn.
We're playing around my football.
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
He's having a blinder. He's clipped the post. He's looking formidable. Then... substitution. His game might be over, but yours isn't. With Betfair's Safe Sub, your bet simply rolls onto the player coming on. Playing a different league with Betfair.
Valid on selected leagues and markets only. Applies to singles, multiples and bet builder bets on qualified player outcome selections. Does not apply to odds boost. T's and C's and exclusions apply. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Incredible scenes here at the Village Hotel's Pub and Grill. Fans are taking their place in the fan zone with stadium-style seating, amazing views on huge screens, and we're underway. Lovely bit of dribbling there as she tackles the burger stack. Now they're getting down the wings. Sticky barbecue. Unbelievable. Oh, and he's hit the bar. And it's there. His favourite ice-cold beer. What a result. Catch every game live in the Pub and Grill at Village. Get in. Find out more at villagehotels.com.
In 10 metres, take a left at the pile of washing.
Sorry, what?
At the Valley of Toy Dinosaurs, approach the kitchen with no room to cook. Turn right at the floordrome. You've reached chaos. Recalculating. Suggest immediate course correction to IKEA for fitted wardrobes, children's storage, and cupboard organisers.
Find your way back to calm. Discover smart storage at your local IKEA now. IKEA, the wonderful everyday.
Kick off live on TalkSport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games flexibly with Now, like Brighton versus Bournemouth live today. Search Now Sports 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Stamina, celebrity, Lightspeed weeknight football. Kick off live on TalkSport.
Semenyo shooting! It had to be! It simply had to be!
Yes, it's like the fairy tale ending, no? I think top class player, but top class person.
Outside the top six, I think he's the best player in the Premier League. So for Man City to go and get him, I think it makes them favourite for the title.
Doku getting it in here, and it slipped through the penalty area. It's Semenyo.
And other players will have to step up, and now there is a big amount of minutes because normally Antoine played most of the minutes.
Evan Nilsson is racing through, and he's sending the ball into the bottom corner, just seconds into the second half.
Palace 0, Bournemouth 2. Junior Krupe at the double on his debut.
And it's Brooks heading it in the goalkeeper. It's in. They've squeezed it in. Through the wall into the corner, and Bournemouth have turned it around, and they lead. Tavernier with the goal.
It's a market that is not easy because there are not a lot of players available. No one wants to lose a good player, but I think we have to look at all the options we have available and try to get it right.
You're listening to Kick Off Live on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Sprinklers are on the pitch. Players are off the pitch. We've got 10 until kick-off. Brighton taking on Bournemouth tonight. It's a Bournemouth without Semenyo, but Danny Murphy, it's not just Semenyo missing. David Brooks is missing as well. And Sam and I have just said to each other off air, and when you look at that 11 for Bournemouth, where are the goals coming from in that side? Where's the creativity? Where's the goals that could possibly win them this game tonight?
Well, Krupe's obviously done okay. He scored a few goals. He looks a threat. Adley has had moments. I've seen him have some good moments. And of course, Evan Nilsson is capable. He's not had his best season, far from it. But more recently, he's been better and found the net a couple of times. So they have got a threat. And they'll certainly create chances. The problem for them is more transitions. When they bomb people forward and they lose the ball, they're wide open. it'd be interesting to see if they carry on doing that, because their away form's been woeful.
Can we talk about Evan Nilsson? And you can't say he's been a failure.
No.
But as a big signing for Bournemouth, he's not been the success that they'd hoped he would be. Is that fair to say?
I suppose it depends on what. I mean, this season, yes. I thought last season he did well. The expectation can only be so high for a forward you bring into Bournemouth. I think the expectation for any striker in a team that's not in the top 6 can only be so high. You know, if you're getting 10 goals plus, then that's about where you should be.
Semenyo's got 10 for Bournemouth already in the Premier League this season, and that's by January.
I know, but that's why he's got to move for 60 million.
Isn't this what they were expecting of Evan Nilsson, though?
Maybe. He has missed a few part of this season, hasn't he, with an injury, but I hear you. Yeah, maybe they'll be a tad disappointed, but if he'd carry on with the form he started with at Bournemouth, he'd have probably been gone as well.
Well, he had a purple patch, didn't he, over December and sort of the early part of March and April last year, when he came back from injury after a bright December. But really and truly, his goals have been pretty much coming in clutches. He's got 3 in his last 6, but he only had 1 in 16 before that. 4 goals this season in a Bournemouth shirt, probably not enough. 12 last campaign in all competitions. Look, they need goals from somewhere. They need him to step up and fill the void, because Antoine Semenyo obviously contributed a hell of a lot of a percentage of their output.
I suppose you could argue that from a manager's perspective, you have to sometimes use what you've got, and if you don't have the same goal threat and the same amount, or you take away your biggest goal threat, and then you know that the other players around aren't particularly reliable, then maybe you have to set up a bit more defensive and pick your moments.
I would say as well, we could compare Iriola's response to Semenyo going to Glasner's response to losing Gueye. Iriola has said players already at the club need to step up. He was asked about bringing in replacements for Semenyo, and he said, yeah, they're working on bringing in a replacement. They might sign 2, 3 or 4. He said probably going to sign 3 players in this window. But he also added, and he was clear on this, that players already at the club need to step up, and I think that's got to be a positive way of dealing with losing a top player.
Well, even if he doesn't quite believe it, it's still the right thing to say, because those players hearing that then think, I'll be that guy. Give me that shirt. I'll do it. Rather than he doesn't think I'm good enough, and all he's doing is whinging about where's my players. Who can I have brought in? Like, who are they going to bring in for me? Are they going to spend this money? There's none of that. Exactly the way you should talk.
Bournemouth are in the final stage of agreeing a move for Ferencváros midfielder Alex Toth, 12 million euros plus add-ons, highly rated by Robbie Keane, who's a big fan of him. He's a defensive midfield player. I mean, it's the kind of recruitment that fits the model at Bournemouth, isn't it? Buying someone young, hungry, desperate to prove a point.
Oh, I like what you did there.
And unintentionally. And Ryan Christie back in training with the squad in the next couple of weeks as well, which is going to be
on the bench.
Really, back in training with the squad in the last couple of weeks. On the bench tonight, important for them.
Is he on the bench tonight?
Did you like that? A little bit of a reversal of fortune.
Whoa.
And running around the tunnel for half the day.
He was there for 3 minutes.
And you're still recovering from yesterday's long show with not many goals.
And your mouse issues.
He's had mouse issues as well.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Don't talk to me about that mouse.
Are you actually okay?
The right test.
Are you going to be alright for the game?
Yes.
He's fit to go. The teams are on their way out from that tunnel that Sam knows very well. Tomorrow it's Champions League, Man City, Spurs and Arsenal, all live across TalkSport and TalkSport 2. I was at Spurs for Game Day Live Saturday. That was an experience. I'll be back at Spurs for the visit of Borussia Dortmund tomorrow night. Join me for kick-off from 7 on TalkSport. Hopefully at half-time this evening, we're going to be hearing from Thomas Frank on TalkSport. In fact, definitely at half-time this evening, we will be hearing from Thomas Frank, so stand by for that. Tonight it's Premier League, live and exclusive. Brighton have won 1 Premier League game since November. Bournemouth have won 1 Premier League game since October. Time to get your act together. Brighton Bournemouth, live and exclusive on TalkSport with former England midfielder Danny Murphy, alongside your commentator Sam Matface.
Well, after a weekend of mistake,
motor racing and golf for an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling games continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now!
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much. That'll do.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. Talk Sport 2.
Goal there to a ball, and his ball aim is dragged it back onto the stumps.
Hard tackling live. Super League action.
Strong and hard and made of steel.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio. We're supposed to be tough.
Serving up live ATP Masters Series tennis.
And Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. Talk Sport 2.
Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. Talk Sport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it,
Roll it.
pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it. You'll find it right here on Talk Sport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it too?
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition. Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
I'm Mark Strange, live for Flash Score. Delighted to have you with us, as it'll be the hosts just about ready to get us underway here now. Kicking left to right in their home strip, blue and white striped shirts, blue shorts, blue socks, and the visitors in their traditional colours, red and black striped shirts, black shorts and black socks. Thanks very much for joining us for this unofficial Premier League publication this evening. As two sides right down the wrong end of the table, you would say, and looking to pick up a valuable 3 points just to ease them back towards the top half of the table. Our referee today is Paul Tierney. He's the man in the middle, as Bournemouth immediately have a throw in down into the corner, and looking for a foul there was Brian Gruda, not coming his way, so a goal kick to Brighton. That'll give me a chance to give you the lineups. Both these sides back in Premier League action tonight after FA Cup clashes, all Premier League FA Cup clashes last week for Brighton. It was a 2-1 win at Old Trafford in Darren Fletcher's only game in charge as a temporary manager for Manchester United. Back into the side comes goalkeeper Bart Verbruggen, and the centre half pairing of captain Lewis Dunk and Jan Paul van Hecke. Also back in this side are Caro Matoma. They come in place of Jason Steele, Olivier Buscaglia, Diego Coppola and Jorginho Rutter. So the full line-up then is in goals for Bruggen. Across the back, Joel Veltman, Lewis Dunk, Jan Paul. So first,
start back at the Amex. This is his 4th appearance for Brighton since his return from Borussia Dortmund. This is the first start he makes at home for the club on his second home debut for him. And he's joined in midfield by Diego Gomez. The front three then of Caro Matoma, Brian Gruda and Danny Welbeck. And for Bournemouth then, their lineup, they also make changes. They drew 2-2 with Newcastle when they were beaten on penalties at St James's Park in the third round last weekend. 5 changes made by Andoni Iraola. Back in the side come Alejandro Jimenez, Marcos Senesi, Adrien Truffert, Marcus Tavernier and Evan Nielsen. And dropping to the bench go Adam Smith and Bafode Diakite, while the other 3 miss out completely. Luis Soler, David Brooks and Enes Unal are the 3 who miss out completely. So a very young and youthful bench for Andoni Iraola, but the starting lineup is follows: Georgi Petrovic in goal, Jimenez at right back, Senesi joined at centre half by James Hill, and Adrien Truffert comes in at full back for Soler. Captain Lewis Cook in midfield along with Alex Scott and that man Tavernier. The front 3 then of Amin Adli, Eli Krupi and Evan Nielsen, the big Brazilian, will be leading the line. Here's Van Hecke for Brighton on the halfway line. Arrows went out on the left-hand touchline for Kadioglu, the Turkish international. Left corner of the penalty area, faced up there by Krupi, and his delivery is held by Petrovic, the former Chelsea goalkeeper, the Serbia international. And he'll cling on to that one. The Bournemouth fans in behind his goal. That was a lovely crossfield pass from the Dutch international Jan-Paul Van Hecke to pick out Kadioglu. I'm sure that was really a shot or a cross that he was just hoping for a blue and white shirt to get a touch on the way, or even a red and black one, and divert it into the net. Not so. It's back now with Bart Verbruggen, also a Dutch international, and rather fittingly all in orange this evening, the Brighton and Hove Albion goalkeeper. Brighton, who after that victory at Old Trafford, the Premier League table, they'd won 1 and drawn 2 in the Premier League before the cup victory over Manchester United last week. And here's Lewis Cook, the Truffert, left-hand touchline midway inside the Brighton half. Ahead of him is Krupi, his countryman. But they go back to Senesi and Hill. Now Senesi arrows one through the middle, looking for Evan Nielsen, well cut out by Kadioglu, and there's that man Gross. Kadioglu now to Danny Welbeck, one of the in-form strikers in the Premier League at the moment. It even calls for maybe for Thomas Tuchel to look at him ahead of the World Cup next summer. Quite the Indian summer for Danny Welbeck. Scored 8 goals in 20 games so far this year. Including one last week against the club where he came through the academy and made his senior debut, of course, at Manchester United. There's a throw in now on the right hand side, midway inside their own half. Bit of light rain falling here down on the south coast. Two south coast sides, but crucially they both sets of supporters like to point out not quite a south coast derby. Here's Truffert inside his own penalty area, and that's away down the left by really made that midfield spot his own, playing well above his years. There's Brighton have 40-year-old James Milner among their subs today. That bench for Brighton is Jason Steele, Jorginho Rutter, Yankuba Minte, Carlos Baleva, Charlampos Costellos, James Milner, Olivier Boscagli, Yassine Ayari and Diego Coppola. There's Petrovic all in lime green. The Bournemouth goalkeeper sends it forward, and the bench for them, they've Fraser Forster, Ryan Christie, Adam Smith, Bafode Diakite, and then they host a raft of youngsters with Veljko Milosavljevic, Dominic Sadi, Remy Rees-Dutton, who made his senior debut off the bench against Newcastle last week, Malcolm Da Costa and Charlie Stevens rounding off the bench for Andoni Iraola, whose side went second in the Premier League with a victory over Nottingham Forest back in the 26th of October. Boy, does that seem a long time ago now. Down to 15th in the league. Who would have known after that the Cherries would go on an 11-game winless run? Mercifully for Iraola, they had such a good start Otherwise they would have been moored down at the bottom along with the likes of Wolves down there. To a corner though to Brighton. Good work from Gruda. Hinchelwood took it down with his right foot, hit it with his left, and it took a nick off of Lewis Cook and behind for a corner. So first set piece of the game for either side here. 7.5 minutes gone at the Amex Stadium. Brighton Hove Albion 0, AFC Bournemouth 0. As that corner's taken short from Gross to Cardioglu. Edge of the penalty area for Garuda. Oh, he gets away from Cook far too easily and stings the palms of Petrovic. Good save, and it'll come away for Alex Scott to come away down the right for Bournemouth, but his pass looking for Adley is picked off, and Brighton will come back again here. Garuda, who really caught that one flush, and Karol Matoma looked like he'd strayed offside there rather lazily, but no flag yet. Nice touch there to Cardioglu, who has drifted over onto the right hand side despite being touch off Gross, and Evan Nielsen will come and take that one, but he's offside. That one is an offside call against the big Brazilian striker, who, as I say, retakes his place in the side in place of the Turkish striker Enes Ünal. We'll get another look here now at this save from Georgia Petrovic. Got two strong hands behind it. A rasping drive from Gruda. It's no cliche, but it was a good height for the Serbian. Still coming through a crowd of bodies at a fierce rate of knots. Not an easy save for him, but he did it well. Here's his opposite number for Bruggen. Now the ball at his feet in the 6-yard line. Invites Evan Nielsen towards him and then rolls it up. In the centre circle, Gomez. Gruda on the right hand side, uses him. Socks around the shins for the German international. Lovely flick from Welbeck. Can't find Gomez, but deflects back to Welbeck, and he finds Veltman on the right hand touchline. Gruda. The area. 10 minutes gone here now at the Amex, and Brighton are hogging possession, that's for sure. Nice ball in there from Gruda to Welbeck at the byline. Welbeck cuts inside Trufair onto his left foot, and intercepted there by Senesi. It was going to Gruda on the edge of the box. Dummies. Good challenge by Marcos Senesi. Bournemouth, though, still can't get it away. Here comes the Veltman now, about 25 yards from goal. Cardioglu. Gruda, was he pushed to the ground there on the edge of the box by Marcos Senesi. It certainly was a risky one from the Argentinian centre-half, but Gruda not getting the foul, who was right on the edge of the 18-yard box there.